What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and happy new banlist day. Wait a second, Dzeeff, you said you weren't posting any more Duel Links content. Well, that Duel Links content might show up occasionally, like in the case of a banlist, because, hey, the banlist is Konami's attempt at balancing the metagame, and like always, this banlist is uploaded at, well, it's actually not midnight now, it's 11, so not quite midnight, but basically, I say that every single time, and people in the comments correct me and point out that the reason the banlist is always updated at midnight or close to midnight is strictly because this game is global. It's not just like not just America, not just Europe and stuff, because even Europe would be a lot more manageable because that's usually just like 6 hours ahead of me. But because it's global and because it's like Japanese company owns it, they usually upload it at times that is convenient for Japan, which tend to not be times that are convenient for the us TCG players in America. Oh my gosh, there's so many, man, you open Duel Links after not opening Duel Links for a little while, and it tells you, like, 1,000 new things are unlocked, and it gives you, like, 100 packs to open, but they're, like, packs full of Horn of the Unicorn. Please just let me play the game. Are we done yet with the menus? No? Okay. Here we go. Holy crap, it is so hard to get menus. Also, mini box, which I'm not going to talk about for, like, too long, but there's a new mini box coming out, and it has some crazy cards in there, like Arcanite Magician and Psychic Wielder. Anyway, Forbidden slash Limited List. Wait, Forbidden? Forbidden slash Limited List? Is that what they've always called it? There's no Forbidden cards, right? I'm trying to think, because even Champlain... Is there a Forbidden card? What in the world? Alright, skills, rebalancing. They always... Oh, what? Arcana is the self-proclaimed master of the Dark Magician. Therefore, we will change the skill to better reflect his character, which must mean it only adds Dark Magician. Wait. This skill will not activate if it does not contain any level 7 Dark spell. You cannot special summon infect What? You cannot special summon effect monsters during turn. Really? Boy, that's rough. Does that kill Blue Eyes? I mean, it probably won't kill. Does that even... I don't even know. How does that... Really? Really? That's interesting. Last game, all the skill is capable of easily gaining a huge advantage. That's right. So we made its activation conditions harsher. Can be used from turn 7 and outward, not turn 5. Reduce your life points to 100, shuffle 2 cards from your... Oh! Did it always have that? I don't know enough about Last Gamble to know. I just know they always drew like 100 cards. Shuffle 2 cards. At least the turn 7 is different, and then I think the difference definitely must be, or probably is shuffling the 2 cards back. I don't think it did that. Did you like discard your hand? I don't quite remember, but it doesn't show me. Yeah. Well, that's okay. But yeah, those are pretty big deals. Last Gamble is only used in degenerate decks, and a lot of people hate Trick of the Sleeve. And clearly, if this is in any indication, it shows that Konami did not account for Cosmo Brain being so good. Anyway, let's check out some Forbidden and Limited List stuff. Wait. Okay, so there's nothing forbidden. It's always called Forbidden Limited. I wonder if is there something forbidden? I have no idea. Is like Restrictor Revolution forbidden, or Woodland Sprite, right? Isn't that? I have no idea. Limited, really? Koakimiro Maximus. We are limiting this card as having 3 copies of this card has allowed Koakimiro decks to consistently end duels in 1 turn. Absolutely true, and also it's a rare, so Konami's all about hitting those low rarity cards. Spellbook of Eternity Limited. Why does Konami hate Spellbook so much? Decks that use this card have had a consistently high winning percentage over the course of many months. Therefore, we limit this card to prevent the metagame becoming stale. Oh, man. It's like, on one hand, I completely agree with that first statement. Like, taking out of context, like, not really talking about spellbooks, but it is true that decks that use certain cards that have had a consistently high winning percentage over the course of many months are like, that's not a good thing, and that they should hit cards like that. On the other hand, is this really fair to Spellbooks players? I mean, it's not like a top deck. It's always just like a good deck. It's a decent deck, but it's not like... And it's so inconsistent as well. I don't know if it's really worth... I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I guess spellbooks are like completely dead now because you can only play 2 Fate, which means you can't play Treacherous Trap Hole, and now you can only play 1 Eternity. Some people used to play 1. I don't know. It's weird. That severely limits their recycling power. I mean, the whole, you can still technically do like the first turn combos and stuff, and technically the consistency did not lose anything, right? Because Fate and Eternity aren't consistency cards; they're more like utility cards. So, like, you don't lose any starters. You still have 3 Secrets, 3 Blue Boy. Is that really that bad? I mean, I think it's pretty bad. I don't know. Spellbooks seem like they're struggling. As far as Maximus go, I mean, that's amazing. What? Semi-limiting Iron Core is the point of this? Okay, so... The Duel Links ban list coming in full effect here. Semi-limiting Iron Core is only done to prevent the Koakimura deck from playing Hey Trunade. That's all it's for. See, like, in a normal ban list implementation like the TCG, you would just ban Hey Trunade because it's an annoying card and it's unfair. But in this ban list, because they don't, to my knowledge, they must have like a forbidden card or something. I'll have to look at it later on. But in this ban list, semi-limiting cards, more so than limiting, actually, semi-limiting cards is basically banning generic cards from whatever deck the archetype cards get semi-limited in. For example, I mentioned Spellbooks. Spellbook of Fate, semi-limited, basically means that Treacherous Trap Hole is banned from the Spellbook deck. Same thing happened with For Hire and Enemy Controller and Destiny Heroes and Enemy Controller, and now you have a situation where Iron Core being semi-limited basically bans Hey Trunade from ever seeing use in Koakimura decks. Same thing with Maximus at 1. I mean, the cards at 1 are like so weird because they're usually not played in the same deck outside of a couple cases on a few different ban lists. But in general, the cards that are semi-limited, those are the ones that are really, really tough to play multiple copies of in your deck, or only like not play any basically. Just because there's so many generic and non-generic cards that are semi-limited, where it seems like most of the cards that get limited, for the most part, it's working like the TCG ban list. It seems like the cards on the limited list that are actually limited, not semi-limited, are the cards that are like not generic. They're usually archetype based, but that's pretty crazy. We're semi-limiting this card in order to make Koakimura decks less consistent. That's not true at all. It's so weird that they wouldn't like admit that. I don't know what they would write, but I mean, can they write? Didn't they write for like Treacherous and Hey Trunade, like, we're hitting these cards because you don't want them using the same deck? No, they didn't say that because Treacherous was just like overused. I don't know. They should own up to that. It's like a good system when it works, and this is like an example of how it works. So like, I don't know. Hey, I was right. Samurai Skull decks that use this card have had a consistently high winning percentage. Oh, that's the same. That's the same exact thing as Spellbook of Eternity. I just copy and pasted it. That's true. I 100% agree with this. I thought this should have happened 1 ban list ago. I know I'm a Samurai Skull player myself. I'm a big fan of the zombies and the vampires, but yeah, I mean, this card definitely should be semi-limited. The big change here, obviously, just like I was just mentioning, it's not Hey Trunade in the vampire deck. It's Enemy Controller. You have people playing that KC, it's called KC Bling, right, or Kaiba Cup Bling or whatever. That skill just adds Enemy Controller to your hand, so like that's broken. Semi-limiting Samurai Skull is banning Enemy Controller for vampire decks. Will vampire decks still succeed? Probably. Probably. You can definitely win without Econ. The real question to me that I'm now thinking of, what if you played 3 Gozuki and 0 Samurai Skull just to play Econ? Or like 3 Gozuki, 1 Samurai Skull, 1 Econ. Something along those lines. I'm really curious to see what will become standard. Just because, like, I don't know, like, Samurai Skull is really, really good. Gozuki is like the ultra rare card, and it's a card that they're not going to hit, and it definitely gets more value over time. But if you're talking about like the actual impact of like a normal summon into like going second boards, Samurai Skull is like where it's at. That's actually it. Wow, that is that's cool. That's a lot better. This is exactly the type of stuff I would like to see instead of the last ban list, which was super weird because the last ban list hit Spellbooks, which, okay, people don't like the deck. People always say I defend it, even though I haven't played the deck in like 5 months. But people always say I defend Spellbooks when they don't need defending. But the fact of the matter is, if they're not like doing well in the ranks, like just because they're a decent deck for a while doesn't mean that like you have to hit it. There should be like decks like Burning Abyss exist out there that are good for many years, light sworns, things like that in the TCG that you can play for a long time, even if like the format changes. And that's kind of what spellbooks were. Maybe just Fate is just too good for this game. That was what I always thought from the beginning. That's why I played spellbooks. But this definitely takes a lot of decks down. It seems like the clear deck to beat is like Ancient Gears, right? 0 hits. They're already they weren't as good as Kawaki. They were definitely way worse than Kawaki, but they play a similar style. And now you have no Kawaki decks, or I mean you have Kawaki decks, but they're a lot less like impactful against back row because they don't have Hate Trunid anymore. And also they can't play, like, they can't even play, like, Econ. If, like, in the world where, like, Hate Trunid gets banned or something, like, maybe they would play Econ instead. But just because they're all semi-limited, can't do that. Can't play Treacherous anymore. Some decks played that. I played Treacherous. I thought it was pretty good. A lot of people, I think, were just playing Hate Trunid. But basically, Kawaki is really hurt. Blue Eyes is really hurt. Spellbooks are really hurt for some reason, and zombies are hurt for a good reason. Samurai Skull definitely. I've been calling for the Samurai Skull semi-limit basically ever since I picked up the deck. I think it makes sense. I think it falls in line with Konami's like policy for hitting cards. And yeah, I don't know, it's like pretty cool. Then also you have like, yeah, Blue Eyes being hit really makes Ancient Gears look appealing as well, because Ancient Gears are most successful against decks that play like a lot of back row, and I think that's going to be like the deck to beat. I still think it's like way too inconsistent. I don't know. I played a lot of Kawaki Miru. I played against a lot of Kawaki Miru, and the same thing for Ancient Gears. And just when I was playing Ancient Gears, it always seems like so inconsistent, you know? Like, it seems like the Kawaki deck, like, it loses when it goes first because it can't OTK, but the Ancient Gear deck, a lot of times they just like set up back row and pass. They can't do anything. But anyway, yeah, it's the Duel Links ban list. I don't know, it's cool. I'm not really planning on like playing that much Duel Links, but I mean, this does get me excited. When does this go out? Like March 25th? Oh, like 2 weeks from now? That's rough, but wait, what? Before limited, after limited? Oh, wait, what? Oh, they're calling it what? I just realized that. So instead of limited and semi-limited, they're calling it limited 1 and limited 2. Oh my god, please do not add that to the TCG. That is so ridiculous. Limited 1 and limited 2. If limited is so good, why don't you make a limited 2? Anyway, okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed this ban list reaction video. I'll see you later. Goodbye.